Joe Gomez, alcoholic drug addict. I hate this podium. I hate any, but not this particular podium. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday to you, young lady. And happy birthday to you, young man. You know, and it's just, between the three of you, you got 3 years more than me. My birthday is April 16th, 1971. But he hit it right on the head. Nobody told me I was going to get older. God damn, I resented that. You know, and I'm 72 years old and still look good, huh, girls? It's my blood. My mother, I was telling the lady over here, my mother is Cherokee and Gabardino Talbot Indian, and my father's a Yaqui from Sonora, Mexico. And I had a hard time growing up. No hablaba español. And I grew up in the barrio, and the Mexicans kicked the shit out of me. Es gringo, no habla español. So I go into the patty section, the white section, and they call me a cholo because I was brown. I said, your mama's a cholo, fool. You know, today I speak German, I speak Italian, I speak Mexican, I speak English, and I'm learning Japanese right now. You know, not because I've been mean or tough, it's because I simply became willing to adhere to other people's cultures and other people's way of life. I've been in Shotokan Karate 35 years. I kickboxed for 29 years. I boxed for 17 years. I was a lightweight regimental boxing champion for the 7th Army. But I could not quit using drugs and alcohol. And that ruined my career. You know? So I found out I'm a very sadistic person. I like to fuck people up. And I had to change that. You know. I like parts of your story. You know, you were talking about me, and I thought, how the fuck did he know? You know. I didn't want what I seen in these rooms for exactly the reasons that he described. I seen all these old bastards in here, and I thought, shit, what are they going to do for me? And there was an old guy that had 3 hairs on his head, and he had 3 teeth, and he said, if you want what we have. And I thought, I said, what an advertisement. Today I want to tell you, I want to be sober more today than I did 37 years ago. I want this program more. I forgot about this when Lucky called me and I said, shit, I had other plans, you know. And I speak here tonight. Tomorrow night I speak in Palm Lancaster. And Sunday I speak in the Raptors in Newhall. And then next week I speak in North Hollywood. They used to say I've seen 48 of the states. They send me all over the country. I don't know what the hell they thought I had to say, but everybody wanted me to say it, you know, so I had a good time, you know. I've seen a lot of our country, you know. I've seen a lot of our states, you know, and I got to spend a lot of time with a lot of different families. I got to go to New York and stay with a black family in New York, and I went to Philadelphia and I stayed with a white family. And then they sent me to Texas, and I stayed with a white family. And this young girl said, I'm going to take you in my Cadillac and we're going to ride down the street. And I said, no, we ain't. I'm a Mexican. I'm a half-breed. You ain't taking me down with a white girl. To hell with that, you know. So I grew up with a lot of prejudice. And I learned to fight real good, real young because of all that, you know. And it just, I don't know. I love to drink. I love alcohol. I started drinking when I was 6 years old. My stepfather used to let me be his bartender. And one day he said, go get me a beer. And I went and got him a beer, and I'm coming back. You know how we are when we're young, and I was running, and I tripped and spilled and started to foam, and he said, drink it, drink it. Shit, that's not bad. You really have 5 or 6 guys over singing and playing the guitars and howling, and I'd go get the beer and shake the shit out of them. By 9 o'clock, I'd be under the table, and he'd say to my mother, "Where's the boy?" She'd say, "He's right there, drunker than shit." And that was my first great escape, the age of 6. At the age of 11, I found that non-habit-forming Mexican laughing tobacco, marijuana. I loved that shit. If you'd ask me to do something, they'd say, "Can I go to the bathroom?" Before I got halfway there, I was smoking. If a cop come up and said, "What you got there, fool?" I said, "Never mind, get your own shit," And that's the way my life was. My life was, I loved that shit. They said, "Mr. Gomez, are you clean and sober?" I said, "I'm clean and sober. 30 days. They said, "No, you're sober, but you're not clean. You're still smoking bud." I said, "You mean I gotta give up bud?" Oh, shit. And I started my program over again, and it's been 37 years, 4 months, and a few days, and I love my freedom today. I love being free. I spent 18 and a half years in 5 penitentiaries. I'm a multiple convicted murderer. I got a pardon in the state of California. I'm free. I get to work with your kids all day long. I work in the school system, and my records are sealed, and that's my job. I work for a place called Angels Flight. It's a crisis center for homeless and runaway kids, and I'm the outreach coordinator. I'm one of the bosses. I have my own team of people that work with me. And I was at Montebello today working at a Catholic school. I'm a recovered Catholic. You believe that shit? I hated the Catholic religion because I hated to kneel down all the time. So I'd go to the church and I'd tell my mom, "I'm going to the church if you let me go to the Hallelujah church down the street." And she said, "Why?" It's because they have chocolate and donuts. God, my life is so different today. There's so much I got to tell you that I'm not going to tell you. I have a horrendous criminal background, and I'm not going to tell you about it. Because see, for 37 years, I haven't been living that lifestyle. I've been living the good life. I've been clean and sober. I work with kids. I work with your kids. I work with kids all day long. And there's some mean little bastards. But somebody made them that way. And sometimes I see these little bastards and I feel like, feel like hanging them up somewhere, I remember what it was like, and there was no recourse. When I was growing up, we didn't have what you had. Yo no hablaba español. And I'd go to the old veteranos and they, "No te entendemos, vete," And when I learned to talk Mexican, they'd tell me you'd take a 6-pack of beer and set it down, or a jug of wine, and you'd sit on the curb and they'd say, "¿Qué quieres?" When you tell them, they say, "Mátalo, mátalo." That's pretty harsh. Kill him, kill him. You just call me a bad name, kill him. Shit, If you didn't do what they tell you, you couldn't go back. They put a jacket on you. The old viejos put a jacket on you, so you were screwed, and we didn't have what we have today. So I take my counseling very, very serious. When I work with kids, I think it's very, very serious. I spent 2 years, 4 months, and 27 days on death row in San Quentin, California. I was due to be executed July 7th, 1963, and I got grace. Governor Pat Brown commuted my sentence to involuntary manslaughter. He said, "You killed 3 guys. You beat 3 guys to death." He said, "But they stabbed you 7 times." He said, "So it must have been something like part of it self-defense." Anyway, he commuted my sentence and I got an early kick out of it. I already served 11. Involuntary manslaughter only carries 10. Split 10, you get a nickel, which is 5 years. I'd already spent 11, so they let me out. I got out in 1969. In 1970, I was in Chatsworth, California, drinking at the bar called the Sundowner with a bunch of biker buddies. Everybody kept running in and out the door. I said, what the hell are they doing? Where are they going? They said, there's a Mexican family out there burning in a van. So I went to see, and I went to see, and there was a Mexican family burning up in a van. I don't know what happened to me. I don't think that would happen today. But they said I put a wet shirt over my head. I went running over there. I yanked the door off the van. I pulled the mother and father out and 3 kids and laid them down and started giving them mouth to mouth. And somebody come over because they called 911 and the fire department got there. They took over. I went back to the bar to drink. I'm drunk. I drink. And a guy was sitting like my friend here, and he stood up and said, "You're a hero," and I punched him out. What the fuck you calling me names for? I said, Mickey Mouse a hero, fool. 3 months later, my lawyer came in. He said, "We got to go see the governor's here from Sacramento. He wants to see you in City Hall on Temple Street, City Hall on the 11th floor." And we walked in, and I walked in, and he looked at me and said, "Mr. Gomez," he said, "you're a hero." I said, "Shit, you can't hit the governor." And he said, I said, "Sir, I don't know what a hero is." He said, "Mr. Gomez, you're a hero. You saved these Mexican family." And this mother and father and 3 kids jumped on me, started hugging me and kissing. I don't like to be touched. You changed that in AA. You changed that in AA. If you'd have touched me before, I'd fuck you up. And my mother put her arm around me when I got out of San Quentin and said, "Bitch, get your hand off me." She said, "I'm sorry, I forgot." I didn't like to be touched. And this mother and father and 3 kids are hugging me, kissing me. I want to throw them out the window, see if they could fucking fly. I didn't know, and today, every Christmas I get Christmas cards. The mother and father live in Pacoima. "Come and get some burritos." Do I look like I need fucking burritos? I just weighed 248 pounds, and I'm down to 224. And they're trying to feed me burritos. I said, "Grr," And I get letters and cards from the daughter lives in Arizona. One son lives in Texas. The son lives in Vegas. And I get cards. They're all married, got their families, and I'm their hero. And they send me Christmas cards every year. I go to your schools. I teach the kids in school, and these little bastards write me notes, write me letters. I can't read these fucking letters. You think this guy started crying, you ought to see me. I said, "Read these, Mr. Gomez, these little kids come up to Mr. Gomez, I wish you were my dad." I said, "Oh, shit." I know. You think you're tough, they take that shit right out of you. I was sober, newly sober, 18 months. And I told this guy a bunch of stuff about me. I was still married. I had a young lady, 13, step me, and I liked it. And I told this guy, and he told his girlfriend, and they told my wife. She didn't like it. Wives don't have no sense of humor. And my sponsor was in the room. And I was in the room, and I was watching this guy and this girl, and I was gonna kill him. I was gonna throw him out a window. And my sponsor was looking at me. He said, "Come up here and share." And that's why I don't like podiums. I went up there and I said, "I don't want to go up there." He said, "I'm the sponsor, you're the baby, go up there." And I got a hold of this, and I couldn't let go. I could not let go. Something was holding my hands, something had my feet, and I wanted to shit myself. I could not let go. And I said, "My name's Joe Gomez, I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict," and I started crying like a little bitch. And I could not let go of this son of a bitch. And a little 7-year-old girl sitting there walked up and got me by the hand and took me down to a chair and set me down and sit on my lap and cuddle my head and made me cry worse. And she said, it's terrible to see a grown man cry. The reason I tell you that is that changed my life. That changed my so-called image. That changed me. That hole's closed up. That air pocket in my gut sealed up. I had feelings and emotions I didn't know what to do with. Now I did, 23 years later, that little girl come to me as a young woman. She called me from Lincoln Heights. She said, I'm in jail, I need your help. And I was able to go help her. She was a duly addicted little female. And I was able to help her. She's married today, she's got kids, and she's rode off into the sunset, But that's my job. That's what I do today. I'm a two-hatter. I don't get paid for what I do. But I'm a two-hatter. I use everything I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous and everything I did in school. Governor Pat Brown said, Mr. Gomez, you need to finish high school. You didn't finish high school. I got a GED. He said, I need a degree. I went to Mission College in Sylmar and I got an Associate of Arts degree in psychology. I wrote to LaSalle University in New York. I said, I understand you have a writing program for convicts. They accepted me as a student, and 3.5 years later I got a bachelor's degree in psychology as a writing student. Life experience. I applied in Sacramento for my KDAC, Chemical Dependency Specialist certificate. That's my criteria. I'm a certified licensed counselor in the state of California. I'm a chemical dependency specialist. Not only this way, but on paper. But you see, here, like in school, the most important tool we got is education. Most of us never knew a shitting thing about ourselves. We didn't know ourselves. We didn't like us, so we want to be like him or him, Some of us didn't know it, but we looked a little bit or felt a little bit like her, Why? Because we have female hormones in our body, and we have male hormones. Some of us have an overbalance. I don't, but I have some friends that do. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not homophobic. I've got two gay people in my home. I have a sober living house. One's a transvestite, and she's big. She said, where do I sleep? Anywhere you want. And I have a young gay guy that's, he's not young, he's 46 years old, but he's my housekeeper. And my house is spick and span every day. I teach the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, the old style. This book is not about you. There's nowhere in this book. I hate to hear people say, my story's in that book. Your ass thing in this book. This is shit about you. This is a textbook for you. If you study this and read it like a textbook, man, it'll do wonders for you. But you're nowhere in this book. This book is not for you. It's not about you, it's for you. And people get so confused with that. I teach the old book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and we teach it a page at a time. I teach this book the old way that I was taught. And I got people that I can't get rid of. I have a book study at my home on Thursdays. On Tuesdays, I teach the big book at a girls' recovery house. I'm busy as a one-legged man at an ass-kicking contest. Sometimes I kneel down at night and I say, man, God, haven't I paid enough yet? I guess not. I guess not. You know, I remember I kneeled down in the parking lot in Reseda, California one day. I said, please God, I want to get sober. If you help me get sober, I'll quit riding a motorcycle. I jumped up. I said, who said that? But I haven't rode a motorcycle since. I go and I look at the new motorcycle, the new honks, and I just look at them. The guy said, get on the trash. I said, no. No. You do not tempt fate. I don't pick up booze and look at it and say, ooh, I wonder what that would taste like. There's a lot of things that I don't do. If you look at this book, and you read this book properly, there's a lot of musts in this book. There's a lot of don'ts in this book. And there's a lot of shouldn'ts in this book. And I have all my people underline them. And I have them right on the border of the book. This here, I have them take this book and make lines all through these empty pages. And I have them make their own index. When I teach them something in the book, I tell them write the page number on that index and to where you can find it later. And when I look at my people's books, they're ridiculous. They look like colored books like this. But they're all different colors. Because every week I make them use a different color. It's important that you learn about what's wrong with us. I didn't know. I didn't know I was an alcoholic. My whole family drank like I drink. I got 5 sons. I got 2 stepsons and 2 stepdaughters. I got 9 children. I got 17 grandchildren yesterday. I don't know about today. I called my son one day and I said, I got 16 grandkids, 17. I just had one yesterday. You sneak up on you, they're like fucking rabbits. I got 3 great-great-grandchildren. One of my grandsons was here pitching professional baseball for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Christian Gomez. I'm blessed. I got grace. But you don't get grace. You have to step into grace. You have to step into God's grace to get grace. It's not free. You have to work for it. There's things you need to do. You are the only person in this world that can change you. You are the only person in this world that you should be the most important person in your life. And the only one you can change is you. You can't change him or her or her. You can't change nobody. And we have trouble changing ourselves. Acceptance. Acceptance. That's why the serenity prayer is so beautiful. So apropos. I say this over and over and over. I want to be sober more today than yesterday. I want to be sober more than I did when I first got here. And the way I can do that is the second edition of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous has a caption like this, and it says, you have to surrender to win. The second part says, you have to give it away to keep it. And the third part says, you have to die to live again. Oh, that's too harsh. People don't know what the fuck it means. The old you has to die so the new you can live. And people, that's why this book requires a translator. What is a sponsor?
Translator.
He tells you what you think he said. He tells you what you think you read. Left her own devices. W.C. Fields was standing by the podium of a movie theater. And he's looking at the Bible. And the guy said, Mr. Fields, what are you doing? He said, looking for loopholes. This book was written a long, long time ago. 66 some years ago. And very little has been changed in the first 165 pages. Why? Because it don't need it. It don't need it. In the first 165 pages, you will find a way of life, a new way of life, a right way of life, a good way of life. But we have to change. Oh, wow. I'm different. Your mama's different, fool. Some of us are so far behind we think we're first. Some of us got all our marbles. We just want to get back in the game. Man, they give you a textbook for life. And we want to change it. Oh, shit. When they told me, Joe, you have to change you, I said, I don't want to change me. I like me. They said, do you really? That was a question that I had to answer. I hated me. I hated being a fucking half-breed. I hated people calling me a half-breed. I hated being a half-breed. Whew. Be careful what you tell your kids. Please. I'm doing a test, and my little boy said, the teacher wants to know what religion you are. I said, to tell the old bitch I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. Next day I got home from work, and I looked and he's sitting here, and I told my wife, what's he doing here? He said he got thrown out of school for saying what you told him to say. That's the only time your kids say verbatim what you told them when it's nasty. They don't forget shit, you know? I hated my mom. Couldn't stand that bitch. And I didn't know why. For reasons that she had no control over. But I couldn't make amends to my mom because she wouldn't shut up. And she had a massive coronary. And she was in a coma. And I went and I put a chair by her bed and I sat down and I started talking to her. And the doctor come over and said, she can't hear you. I said, fuck off, get out of here, nobody called you. He said, I don't give a shit who you are, get out of here before I kick your ass. And I talked to my mom for about 2.5 hours. I said everything I wanted to clear up, everything that I felt bad about, everything that I felt hurt about. 2 months later, she said, come over, I want to talk to you. I went to her home and we sat down to have coffee and she said, I never knew that you felt that way. She heard everything I said to her. And she said, I never knew. I said, Ma, you just wouldn't shut the fuck up. I couldn't talk to you. She said, you told me that too. She said, and I understand. Before my mom passed away, we used to talk to her and she'd sit and listen. Ma, what's your opinion? Well, I didn't think you wanted one. She changed. She changed. She changed herself. And she became a very loving person. She was my homie. People used to say, who's that? That's my homie. That's your mother. I said, that's my homie. She was my bud. I'd be going home and I said, I'm going to call Mom. I do it today. I'm going to call Mom and forget she's not there. You have somebody with all them years and all of a sudden they're gone. So be grateful for what you got and enjoy what you got and be good to what you got. You never know when you won't have it no more. And when you don't have it, when you realize how much you lost, how much you miss. I had a romance with alcohol. I had a true marriage with alcohol. I loved alcohol more than I loved anything else. And today I'm free. All my old troubles, all my old fears are gone. I got brand new ones. What we do is we go around and we pick the sickest woman in the room. And she'll look you right in the face, she'll say, I'm a sick bitch. And you say, oh, it's okay, I'll save you. You know why that is? We're accustomed. We know failure intimately. We don't know success. So we set ourselves up to failure, and when we fail, oh well, we're used to it. See, we're afraid to be successful. I didn't mean that. We're afraid to be successful. If I'm successful today, you're going to expect it tomorrow, and tomorrow. Shit, there's the fear. I don't know if I can do it 4 tomorrows in a row. You understand that? So thank God that we learned the concept that was given to us one day at a time, just for today. God, let me walk your path just for today. Because I don't know shit about tomorrow. Yesterday's spent. All I got's today. How we doing on time?
Good.
I always like to go over. Fuck them. And you know what? People do. I talked at a convention and I talked over. And nobody got up and left. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to cheat you. I'm not going to steal from you. It's just impossible. Like I tell the kids, there's many forms of lying, cheating, and stealing. An omission is a fucking lie. Oh, I didn't tell you. Well, it's a lie because you didn't tell them. You didn't tell them because it's a fucking lie. Omission. We didn't say anything, so we couldn't be guilty of anything. I cuss a lot. I swear a lot. I love to cuss. I don't know any word like that describes everything like fuck. I'm not allowed to cuss in schools. I don't cuss at them little tender-hearted bastards. They say, Mr. Gomez, you never cuss. I'm not allowed. You know, it just... How can I be an example if I'm going to cuss at these young kids? At these high school kids? I've spoken in college. I spoke 7 times at UCLA. To older people that were going to night school. What do you want? We just want to talk. 3 ladies wrote poems about me. I had one eye. I had a patch then. And I finally got a decent eye that fits, and I quit wearing the patch. Half of my face is plastic. I had 11 operations on my teeth. My eyes gone, my teeth are gone. I thought they were going to make me look like John Wayne. Shit, they put me just the way I was, you know? I like me. I love me. I love me. I'm not dissatisfied with me. God made a good product. I do God's work. God gave me the ability to reach your kids. I work with your kids as hard as I can because I can't reach my own. And I hope and pray that God will let me reach yours so that maybe you can reach mine. Somebody else can reach mine because I can't. I'm too close. I'm too emotionally involved. That's why you can't help your brothers and sisters. Too emotionally involved. We Mexicans have a double load anyway. We're fucked when we get here. I'm lucky I went to my dad. I said, you taught me some stupid shit. You know what he told me? I'm sorry, mijo, but that's all I knew. And he tells his friend, hey, my son teaches me a lot of stuff about psychology. They say, pendejo, what are you going to do with it? He said, that's not the point. He broke the circle.
Yeah.
He broke the circle. I'm open to change. That's what God did for us when He sent us to this program. We're open to change. I hate it. There goes that dumb Mexican. Stop. Wait a minute. Who are you calling a dumb Mexican? Well, I'm talking to my friend. I see you talking about me. Then after they get up off the ground, they say they were sorry. I had to quit doing that. I had to look at them and consider the source. It is not my fault that they are in ignorance. That's the way we got here. We were ignorant about a lot of facts. How many times you see men come up and hug men? Men always kiss me on the cheek. I said, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? I don't anymore. My mom used to tell me, she said, people love you. You were such a mean son of a bitch. I killed a guy when I was 19-year-old right in front of my mother. I shot him in the face 3 times. She never forgave me. She forgave me for everything else but that. Even when the cop rolled him over and he had a 45 underneath it. She still didn't forgive me. She said, you didn't have to kill him. I guess I didn't, when you really stop and think about it. But that's why we're here learning a new way of life. That's why we're learning the things that we can. That's why we study all the don'ts and all the musts. That's why we pay attention. This is the textbook of life for us. You don't like to read, buy a tape. You know, and this is real important. You can change your life. But imagine this. Doctors go to school for years to become doctors to save people's lives. And we have the ability to save another alcoholic's life. All you got to do is come to AA and study sobriety. Study this way of life. Simplicity. It's so simple, that's what eludes us. That's what gets away from it. Don't drink and you don't get drunk. Shit, is that all there is? Don't smoke dope and you won't get low. Damn, that's simple. But see, we can't take that. We want something complicated. We don't want something simple. Don't cheat on your wife and she will love you more. Oh. My wife is extremely jealous of me. I said, you know what's wrong with you? I don't give you cause. But you're so afraid that I'm going to do to you what you're thinking of doing to me. And then when she did it, she broke down and cried. She said, how did you know? I said, because you're a bitch. Sometimes when a turtle walks by, when he gets over there, he's still a turtle. When he comes back, he's just a turtle coming back. You know, people, what is. That's why it's so hard for people to understand and accept God. God is, and that's a fact. It's no big, wondrous thing. God is. And I'm glad I walked with God. I'm glad I was able to share your birthday, my friend. You too. You too. Birthdays are real important. They're milestones. You never have to repeat the same birthday again. Unless you fuck up. I want you to remember this. You let me learn to love you and become your friend. And you let me share with you. And you let me become a part of your life and you become a part of mine. And then you take my fucking feelings out in the street and get loaded. What about me? Aren't you obligated to me for something? Don't you owe me something? Think about that. Thank you for listening.